Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel, A Life Lead Simply. This channel is dedicated to helping you bring your life into balance in this most simplest and natural way possible. I'm Miss Rita Brits, and you are welcome to join me on this journey. Today we will be talking a bit about a no spend challenge, or taking a break from spending money. This is one of the best ways to bring your life back into balance, especially if you suspect that you have an uncontrollable spending habit, or if you find yourself spending money on things that you don't necessarily need, you don't even want, or you forgot you already had a similar product or item. So you end up spending money that you could have used for other things. And you can't tell me that in today's day and age, there isn't a better place for you to spend your money than on useless things that you can't really use or use efficiently or effectively. So that is where a no spend challenge or a spending break comes in. This is something that I wasn't really aware of. I didn't know that it was a thing until I saw a few other podcasters and YouTubers talk about it, and I thought, well, maybe they've got something here, and let's do a little bit of investigating. And then I saw that it's actually something that's been around for quite some time, and all of us have done this in one way or another, realizing in the middle of the month that you don't have any money left, so you opt to stay in for the weekend. You eat what you have in the fridge. You start packing your own lunches to work. We've all done something to a certain degree to help us save money. So embarking on a no spend challenge or a no spend period isn't such a big challenge unless you have a serious problem, but it can have enormous benefits. So if we take a no spend challenge, this will differ from person to person, but the broad rules are: you decide on a specific time frame, so whether it will be a weekend or a week or a month or the very extreme a year, and you decide on a few ground rules. And the ground rules can be things like you're not allowed to spend any money on clothes or shoes or hair accessories, but you are allowed to spend money on food and medical supplies. If you do spend money on food and medical supplies like medicine, there's a certain budget that you need to keep within, so you can only spend X amount on food. So you can put these little rules and regulations in for yourself, so that you know within which boundaries you are allowed to move. So we have now implemented a no spend break or a no spend challenge, and our rules are: firstly, we're not allowed to spend any money on clothes unless it is really, really urgent, like you're standing in the shops and your jeans tear and you have to go buy a new pair because you can't walk around with a hole in your pants the whole day. Anything like that, then yes, you can spend money on clothes. Food, we are allowed to spend money on food, but we have a very tight budget, and we have to meal plan. So there are the meal planning rules that are now incorporated into the no spend challenge rules as well. So the meal planning rules are: we're not allowed to buy any food during the week, only allowed to buy food on a Monday. So we have to budget and work out the meal plans for the whole week and make sure that all of that food is bought on a Monday. Nothing in the week. The only exception is milk, because it goes sour if you just look at it. So we're allowed to buy milk during the week, but nothing else, only on a Monday. Then we're not allowed to waste anything. So if you peel a potato, you need to make potato skins with the potato skins. If you cut the tops of a carrot, it needs to go to the stock pot. So there's no waste as far as possible. And thirdly, we have to eat what we cook and cook what we eat. So if we make food and there's leftovers, then that needs to go for lunch the next day. If we decide to cook extra so that we can freeze it for a later stage, those days when you don't have time to cook, then we actually have to take proper care of the food so that it's frozen properly, so that it can be eaten at a later stage. So you really need to take care of the food that we buy, so that we don't waste money. Okay, so that's another rule in our no spend challenge. Then we are allowed to go to the events that we already RSVP'd to. So we're allowed to go to the dinner party and the movies and whatever else we have already scheduled into our calendars, but we are not allowed to accept any new invitations for this month. Sorry, that I forgot to say. The no spend challenge will be for a month, just to see how it goes, and then we'll take it from there. So no new events. If we do go to an event like a birthday party, yes, we're allowed to take a present for the person, but we need to buy that present within a certain budget. So we've set all these little rules for ourselves so that we can stay within them, and then have a objective idea of whether this works or not. My gut says it is going to work, because one, you save money, but it also has the possibility or the potential to instill healthier habits. So you will find yourself hopefully thinking about purchases in the future, thinking if you really need it, if you're going to use it, if it's got value, or if it's just going to be an impulse buy that you do now because you're feeling down or frustrated or whatever, and you're just going to chuck it in a cupboard and forget about it. So I'm hoping that this will change shopping habits, change spending habits, and also change the way that we think about our possessions. Because if you have the mentality of, oh, it can be replaced, then there's not much that is driving you or motivating you to look after it. So the moment that we stop with this it can be replaced mentality, we will start taking better care of our possessions and looking after things. So I've now read a few tips of how to make this work, and I'm going to share some of them with you here. But if you want more, then please visit the blog post that I've linked in the notes below, where you can find all of the 10 tips. But a few that really resonated with me was, one, you really need to set rules and boundaries, and you need to write them down and make sure that everyone agrees and knows about them. Otherwise you're just going to run into trouble later on, and if only you know the rules, then it's very easy to break them because you've got no one to be accountable to. And that is tip number 2. Find someone to be accountable to. So either do this with a friend or a family member, or get your partner involved. Do this as a family. You need to get someone that you can phone and say, I've screwed up, or help me, or I've got this emergency now, how do I handle it without spending money? So get someone that can hold your hand and encourage you throughout this whole process, and who can celebrate with you in the end when you're finished. Tip number 3. This is not a wish list challenge. So you are not depriving, or if you feel deprived, then you're in any case doing it wrong, but you're not depriving yourself of things for this time period just so that you can smack them on a list that you need to accomplish the moment that this challenge is finished. So if you catch yourself making a wish list, this is now like going on a diet and then just thinking about that piece of chocolate cake that you're going to have when the diet finishes. You're just going against what the purpose of this challenge is. So don't make a wish list. Rather think of ways that you can substitute whatever you want, or that you can make a plan to get that gratification now without spending money. So, think of ways to be creative to make this work for you. And that is another tip that I can give you. You need to give free reins to your creativity during this time. If you don't, it will end up being boring, and you will feel deprived and depressed and not at all get the outcome that you can if you do this properly. So allow yourself the freedom to be creative. Even if you fail, there's no such thing as failing. There's only a thing as learning from things that didn't work. So be creative, think of new ways of approaching normal life situations, and then you will be surprised. You might even have a bit of fun. So if you want to join me on this no spend challenge, then please go to the link below and sign up. do it with us. Say, share your progress. Comment if you've done something like this before, or if you might do it in the future, or if you're really not interested at all. I would love to hear your thoughts on that as well, why you would not be interested. And then I will see you again next week, because luckily this is free, so I can do it. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Remember to like the video if you liked what I said, and hit subscribe if you want to find out more, if you want to know about all the new videos as they hit. And you can also go and subscribe to our newsletter and stalk us on social media. Have a great day. Bye.